My homeschooling journey was not easy. No, 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 no. There are things I wish I would have known before I even started my journey. Parents, guardians, moms, dads, if you have a child and they are in traditional school, they may be in private school, and you are just tired of the routine, you are tired of the mundane, you just want to shake things up a bit, you want your freedoms back. I have some points here for you that will help you if you're thinking about homeschooling and you want to get started, but you don't know where to begin. These are 5 tips that I wish that someone would have told me when I first started my homeschooling journey. I mean, it could have saved me time, stress, resources, money. So I figure, why not get on here and tell you some of the things that I have learned over my years of homeschooling. I mean, maybe, hopefully, that this can save you time, stress, money. And so without further ado, point number 1, you don't need the perfect curriculum. I wish someone would have told me this. So a curriculum is a tool, and it is not the foundation of your homeschool. I spent so much time looking for the perfect curriculums, trying to figure out what's going to work well for my kids. And keep in mind, I homeschool 4 kids at a time. At one point, I was even homeschooling my niece. So I would say 5 altogether, and they all had about different age groups. So I worked really hard to try to gather the resources, get all the information that I need for a particular curriculum. And so what I found out in pulling my kids out of school is that a lot of the work they still did not know, they still didn't comprehend. So I made my kids take a placement test, and anything that they were lacking in, anything that I felt that they really needed to know moving forward, what I've done was I based my curriculum off of the information that they knew. So I literally created my own curriculum. Yes, I created my own curriculum. So it was very tedious, but what I would do is I would gather the lessons for the week for each child based off of their scores and based off of what they already know and what they've already learned. So let's say, like, if one of the kids were struggling in math and they were in like 4th grade, but they were struggling with 3rd grade math, I would simply teach them 3rd grade math, mixed in with a little bit of 4th grade math. But I literally based my homeschool off of what my kids needed to know. I didn't believe in pushing them ahead. If your child can't add, subtract, multiply, and divide, how are they going to learn how to do anything else? So I took it back to the basics. If you are worried about money, you might say, sis, I really want to homeschool my child. However, I don't have the finances to do so. Let me just be the first one to tell you that you do not need a lot of money to start homeschooling. There are paid curriculums and there are free curriculums. With homeschooling, there is no one-stop shop. You go by your child. You find out what your child knows and what they need to learn. And then you go ahead and you find a curriculum based off of what they know and what they need to know. But you remember, you are in charge. You call the shots. So as long as they're getting their required subjects, it is fine. So moving on to point number 2. Homeschooling does not have to look like school. One of the greatest things about homeschooling is realizing that you have freedom and taking advantage of it. Realizing that your child does not have to sit at a desk for 8 hours in the day. When I first started out, I started researching other homeschooling parents and just kind of like figuring out what they were doing. And what I've noticed was many of them started to try to recreate a classroom at home. And while that may work for some, that does not work for all. But as I continued in my homeschooling journey, I have learned that not everybody homeschooled the same way. I mean, there was a woman who literally homeschooled outside of the house every day. I said, do your child ever sit down and do paperwork? She said, yes, but that's what we come to the library for. So she'll let their child sit at the library for like 45 minutes a day and have someone come in and go over some paperwork with them. But much of the time they took trips. So they would learn just by getting out of the house, nature. She would teach them by going shopping with them. I mean, they were never in the house. I personally couldn't do it. I personally liked having my children sit at a desk and learning. But that was her teaching style. So I'm just telling you, if you're the parent, you might be like, hey, I just want to have my child learn a different way. That is fine as well. As long as they are getting their core subjects, that is completely fine. Moving on to point number 3. Your first schedule will not be your last. Trust me. That schedule that you said, okay, we're going to wake up, we're going to eat breakfast, we're going to start at 8 o'clock in the morning, we're going to do our ELA, and then at 9 o'clock, we're going to move on to math. The more you get comfortable with your homeschooling journey, I am telling you, you're going to start to relax a little bit and say, wait, I don't have to do this at 8 o'clock every day, especially if your children are younger. Now, I know for middle school and high school, we want to teach our children time, but that is the benefit. Let them enjoy it a little bit. That is the benefit of them being able to be homeschooled. You can still teach them time management as well, but having that option to say, instead of doing this today, we're going to do this. Instead of doing that, we're going to do this. So you basically call the shots. Please don't get yourself caught up in schedule. So start simple, stay flexible, and learn to adjust when you need to. You left traditional school for a reason, and it is time for you to take advantage of your freedom. So point number 4 is, do not compare yourself to other homeschooling families. Know that not every family is the same way. Not every family operates the same way. You might have a family that wakes up at 6 in the morning, and they absolutely love waking up at 6 in the morning. They're bubbly. They're ready to start their day. But then you have another family who said, oh, 6 o'clock is too early. I'm getting up at 8. I get up at 8 o'clock. So you don't want to compare yourself. Also, you don't want to compare yourself thinking that you have to do it the same way as your friend, if you have a friend, or do it the same way as your other co-op that you have joined. We are all different for a reason. Because honestly, truth be told, you only see the highlight of their reels. You only see what's being recorded, but you can't see what's going on behind the scenes. You don't know what they do behind the scenes. You don't know what they have to do. You don't know if they're just putting on a show in front of the camera. You don't know if they do this in real life. So don't get caught up in watching what someone else does and thinking that you have to compete with the next person. Because when you do things that way, that will cause you to not feel as confident. You know, when you start comparing yourself to someone else on social media, I promise you that will make you feel less confident about your homeschooling. You will start to feel like you're not doing enough, or my child needs to do this, but your child don't learn like that. So I would say to base your homeschool journey off of your child and off of your family. Lastly, point number 5, confidence comes after you start. Don't think that you have to go into it knowing exactly what you need to do, because let me tell you, children will make you adjust real fast. Just when you think that you have something down pat, just when you think that, okay, I'm going to do it this way, you will find out new things about your child. So let me leave you with this. If you are considering homeschooling and you are feeling completely overwhelmed, just know that everybody who started homeschooling was sitting right where you are right now. We all had worries. We all had doubts. We all, none of us really had the confidence that we needed. So for this very reason, I have created a free ebook. Anybody who is wanting to homeschool their children, they are tired of traditional schools, you are burnt out, you want your freedoms back, you want your child to have their freedoms back, I have created a free ebook just for you to get started without being overwhelmed. So you can visit homeschoolwithari.com and grab your free ebook today.